All right, 10 o'clock class, here are actually the results of the belief quiz that I gave you. And I wanted to go ahead and touch base on this screen as a whole first, and then I'm going to break it down quadrant by quadrant. You're going to notice up here that this vertical line is actually the bedroom line that comes in between. You'll notice that this horizontal line here is actually the wallet line. And basically what this belief quiz does is that we're going to predict what your political views are based on how much or how little you believe that government should either regulate bedroom or moral issues, and how much or how little you believe government should regulate wallet or in fact economic issues. Now this is basically just a geometric plane, if you will. And you'll notice if you scored to the right on this, the vertical line, you're actually going to believe in government regulation of wallet issues. If you score to the left of this vertical line, you're going to believe that government should stay out. If you scored above the horizontal line, then in fact you're going to believe that government should regulate bedroom or moral issues. And if in fact you score below, you're going to believe that government should stay out of bedroom or moral issues. Now with this in mind, just notice a couple of things on here. A number of you have the exact same ideas because there are several names that share the same dot. The other piece to this is the center or the origin. So the closer that you are to the center, the more moderate your views are going to be. Nero, Sean, Oscar, Bobby, if we change one question to any of your answers, you could conceivably have ended up in any of the four quadrants, which means that y'all are a little bit moderate or maybe even a little bit undecided as far as how you feel regarding government regulation, but I'll give you a little bit more specifics on that. The further that you score away from the center, in fact, the more that your views, I don't want to say are necessarily radical, but they are maybe a little bit more deeper rooted than the folks that are closer to the center. And we're going to deal with what these four quadrants are. So let me go ahead and break these down. And I'm going to focus on this bottom left-hand quadrant first. You'll notice up here, Oscar. You'll notice up here, Vanessa. You'll notice up here, Nelson. And you'll notice up here, both of the Chris's. This bottom left quadrant is going to believe that government should stay out of wallet or economic issues. And this bottom left quadrant is actually going to believe that government should stay out of moral issues. In other words, government should really regulate as little as possible. You folks are actually what are known as my libertarians. Libertarians believe that the government that governs best is going to be the government that governs least. So in fact, when it comes to wallet issues, libertarians are going to believe that government should do minimal types of taxation just for the simple reason that government's not going to need that much money because government should do limited amount of activities. They don't need money for things that they're not doing effectively. When you think about it, they're going to believe that it is the government role is to stay out of the economy. The economy can run better on its own. Supply and demand. The idea that let's let the needs and the wants drive things from the bottom up rather than the government dictating what gets produced or in fact what is limited from the top down. If you look at this in terms of wallet, they're not necessarily going to believe in helping people, for example, buy their first house. They're going to believe, in fact, in minimal and equal percentage type taxation. Not the more you earn, in fact, the more that you give away, but the more that you earn, in fact, the more that you should keep. But they're also going to believe that we as individuals need to be more self-reliant. So on the one hand, when times are good, you're going to be able to certainly enjoy the plenty. However, with that said, when times are bad, they're not necessarily going to believe in helping you just because you need it either. In terms of moral issues, as you look at this, these folks are going to believe that government should stay out of bedroom or moral issues. Gay marriage is not an issue for the government. Gay issue is a marriage for the individuals. Abortion is not an issue for the government. Abortion is an issue for individuals. Prayer is an individual issue as well. This is not something that government should be mandating. So the idea is that the government that governs best is the one that governs least. And incidentally, libertarians typically also believe in the legalization of weed too. So just keep that in mind. Now you'll notice up here, I mentioned to you that Oscar was pretty moderate. Oscar, on five of the 9 questions in a 5-4 vote, your opinion said that government should stay out of the wallet. On 5 of the 9 questions, your opinion said that the government should stay out of, in fact, the bedroom or the moral issues. really, Oscar, for you, it kind of depends on the issue, because you don't believe that government should never regulate, but it's just that you have a slight lean right now that government should not regulate more than it should, but it probably depends on the issue. You'll notice both of the Chris's, Chris I and Chris P, on 6 of the 9, both of you in fact said that government should stay out of both economic and moral issues. Y'all are both good, solid libertarians. Let me make decisions regarding my life and let the government stay out, because the government is going to hinder me. Now you'll notice over here Vanessa, and maybe this isn't surprising, Vanessa is one of the people that's furthest from the center on the entire graph. Vanessa, on 8 of the 9 questions, you said government should stay out of the wallet. Meaning, let me earn what I keep and let me keep what I earn. You go do the same, and if you don't earn as much as me, well then too bad, kind of a thing. With that said, Nelson, both of the Chris's and Vanessa all agree that on 6 of the 9, y'all wanted the government to stay out of moral issues. So Vanessa, you're very, very strong libertarian in terms of, in fact, economic issues. The government should stay out of my wallet. But Vanessa, you do have limits. Government should sometimes get involved on some of the more moral issues. Libertarians, and for exam purposes, let me stress this. Make sure that you know the relationship between bedroom and wallet and government. So if there's a libertarian question, understand that libertarians believe that government should stay out of wallet issues and government should stay out of bedroom issues. That's really one of the key pieces to this. You'll notice down here in the bottom right-hand quadrant, there is obviously a second category. And this is a little bit different. On our wallet line up here, if you scored in the bottom right quadrant, you're going to believe that government should regulate wallet or economic issues. However, you're going to share the liberal view on bedroom, meaning government should stay out of the moral issues. So if you believe that government should regulate economic issues, but government should largely stay out of social or moral issues, you folks are actually what are known as my liberals. You are my liberals. And you'll notice up here, Rosalind, Andrea, Rahani, Cisco, Andrew, Aaliyah, Jimmy, and Sarah are down here. Now, Aaliyah and Jimmy, on 6 of the 9, you said that in fact government should regulate economics. On 6 of the 9, y'all both said that government should stay out of moral issues. So there is some room for government regulation on morals. There's some room for individual independence on wallet. But for the most part, y'all are very good, solid, liberal folk. Now, where it gets a little bit more interesting is when we start dealing with Cisco, with Andrew, and with Sarah. Sarah, if you'll notice on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sarah, on 7 of the 9 questions, you said that government should stay out of bedroom issues, moral issues. Let the people make these decisions for themselves. However, on 5 of the 4, you said that government should regulate economics. Sarah, you're a very moderate liberal in terms of economic issues, but you're actually a very strong liberal in terms of moral issues, staying out of that. Cisco, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cisco and Andrew, you're like the Sarah, if you will, but only on economic issues. On 7 of the 9, y'all in fact said that government should regulate economic issues. And in this instance, we need to help the young people get their benefits to be able to go to college. Regarding economics, we should help people be able to buy their first house. Government should mandate or require a minimum wage. These are all at their own level positive things. These would also be examples, though, that would include things like if you earn more money, then in fact you should pay more in taxes, whereas if somebody earns less money, they should pay a lower percentage of their income in taxes. And that's maybe a little bit more controversial to some folks anyway. But Cisco and Andrew, 7 of the 9, y'all said that government in fact should regulate economics. Cisco, you actually, it looks like you were undecided on maybe a couple of the questions. It looks like, as far as you're concerned, it looks like on 5 of the 8 questions, you said that government should stay out of morals. So you're much more moderate on morals. Andrew, on 6 of the 9, you said government should stay out of morals. You're a very strong liberal regarding economics, and you're a good, solid liberal in terms of moral types of issues. And when I say moral, this is where we start talking about not forcing prayer on young people. When I say moral, this says just because you're threatened, that doesn't mean that you should be shooting at folks. When I say things like moral, this this is saying, you know what, if somebody wants to open up a strip club across the street from your house, then in fact they can. And this is talking about things like abortion being the woman's choice, and in fact marriage being between two individuals that choose it, but these individuals don't necessarily have to be males and females. Again, for exam purposes, make sure that you're comfortable with these examples, but also the distinction. Libertarians believe that government should not regulate economics and should not regulate moral issues. The government that governs best is the one that governs least. Liberals are going to believe that the government that actually regulates economics, however, stays out of the moral issues, is going to be the better government. They're going to be looking to help people that maybe can't help themselves economically, but everybody should have the same moral freedoms as everybody else.